All right, we will get started here in one moment. Let's make sure everything looks okay. Let's go to F11 here and get this on full screen. There we go. Let's hit the live. I wonder actually if OBS fixed. I wonder if OBS fixed. Let me see here. I never checked. View, docs, YouTube, live control panel. Did OBS fix? You know what? Who cares? I'll check this later. Well, let me see. What's going on, guys? We'll get started here in a second. We will get started here in a second. Wait, what the heck? Oh, oops, I spelled my name wrong. Classic. Oh, crap. I don't know my password. Who the heck remembers their passwords? Let's try that one. Oh. What's going on, guys? We'll get started here in a second. Yes. I remembered my password successfully. Only took a couple tries. What the heck? Okay. This is so weird. I guess OBS hasn't fixed. No, they have still not. Okay, OBS streaming software sucks. They still have not fixed YouTube chat in the streaming software, and it's been like a year. All right. Anyways, what's going on, guys? Got a little bit of a snowstorm. Hey, by the way, it started snowing here. I'm in Minneapolis Metro. It started snowing here 30 minutes ago. I'm not even lying. It's accumulated. Like, we had no snow on the, we had a little bit of snow in the banks and in certain areas, but like the roads, zero snow. My front yard, all the snow was gone. The road and grass is covered. I'm like, this is the quickest I've ever seen snow accumulate. I mean, let me see real quick. 30 minutes. I'm going to show you guys. This snow in the Minneapolis, we're going to go over all the regions, but this snow in the Minneapolis Metro is accumulating so fast. It started snowing 30 minutes ago. There was no snow on the ground. I want you to take a look outside. Let me actually do this. There was no snow on the ground. It started snowing 30 minutes ago. Look how fast this snow is accumulating. You can't actually even really tell from this, but there was zero. There was all green. There was nothing on the road. So what's confusing to me is we've been above freezing for about 48 hours here. Not much, in the high 30s, but we've been above freezing for about for about 42 hours here. So I figured we'd get a little bit of melt on the front end. Like the first hour, the surface is a little above freezing. The snow is going to melt. It just immediately started sticking. So I can already tell you this area right here, probably going to see totals. I'm not going to say that we're going to see the high end totals, because high end National Weather Service has put up to 12 to 13 inches for Minneapolis Metro on the high end. But we could get, I think some people could get a foot in here just based on how quickly the snow is already starting to accumulate. And the heaviest bands were originally projected to be actually up through here to start. Kind of got a dry slot through there. Don't worry if you're up here, St. Cloud and everything. This snow will begin to fill in. The storms, the low pressure is deepening, and we're going to get this snow beginning to move in, kind of change directions, and you're going to get a ton of snow up here. Don't worry about that. But that dry slot's a little bit farther, or this dry slot has actually forced some of the heavier snow into the Minneapolis Metro. So really good situation for the Minneapolis Metro if you want some good snow. We got severe weather, severe thunderstorm warnings down here, Bloomington. Really for just the chance of hail, heavy rainfall, strong winds. Let's take a look in here. I don't think we've got any sort of rotation on this, but we'll check. Nope. Some strong winds, chances for some hail. Again, this right here that we're seeing in here. Now, I would say this is easily 2 inch an hour snow. The problem is if we look at our temperatures, it's not going to be a 10-to-1 ratio right here. So if we look at our temperatures, have they dropped? We're at about, this is a little bit high. I think we're at about 32 degrees here now in Minneapolis Metro. But if we were 2 degrees colder, this would be 2-inch-an-hour snow. This could still be inch-an-hour snow because the temperatures are dropping pretty quickly. So, but this is an extremely heavy band of snow that was kind of projected to be a little bit farther north. Really, this whole area, very, very heavy band of snow. Just started snowing. Let's go. Is there no one in my 07 watching? I was like, is there no one in my YouTube chat? Wait, detect it live. What is it saying? That was weird. Okay. Did you say hail in Iowa? No, not hail in Iowa. No. A little bit of hail possible out here in Illinois, Indiana. We've got a severe weather threat out there today. Really quickly, I just want to highlight that for you guys. Categorical risk out here. You can see marginal to slight. There is a tornado risk out here as well. Through portions of western Indiana, Rochester, Logansport down to Lafayette, Terre Haute, Charleston, Urbana, Newton, Kankakee, Kentland. I don't know how to pronounce some of these things. East Central Illinois, West Central to Northwestern Indiana. 5% risk for tornadoes. Then you got a larger 2% Northwestern Ohio, Southern Michigan, most of Indiana, and most of Illinois. So just be aware of that today. Obviously, this is, oh man. See, this snow right here, I wish we were a degree or two colder, although it's accumulating extremely quick. This might be an inch, 2-inch-an-hour snow falling right now. Because this is such a heavy band, and this band was expected to be a little bit farther north. We're going to go over snow totals and everything here in a second. Weather app says it's 33 degrees here. I don't believe that. I think it's colder than that. Let me get, I have a different app. Weather Underground says it's 32. Weather Underground is much more accurate. It uses the closest airport to you. So yeah, it's freezing here. But once you get below 30 degrees, guys, once you get to 29 degrees, your snow ratio shoots up. That's the difference between 10-to-1 ratio and Kuchera. You get a solid 10-to-1 ratio once you get to 29 degrees. So, all right, I'm going to go over snow totals. I'm going to go over everything here in a second. Let me just look at something really quickly here. Yeah, so we're about an hour maybe away from being 29 degrees, from getting that 10-to-1. If this band can hold, this snow is accumulating super fast. All right, guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about snow totals. They went up last night. Oh, did they? They went... Let me move this taskbar down. It's okay, whatever. They went up yesterday. Just to show you, because I was watching this yesterday. Minneapolis Metro on here was projecting around 8.5 inches. We're projecting around 10 inches. This is the expected amount, not the high end. This is not the high end. Minneapolis Metro around 10 inches. Albert Lee, 8 inches. Rochester, 8 inches. This is the expected from the National Weather Service, not the high end. I'm going to get to answering questions in just a moment here. Snow is so heavy outside. It's awesome. Okay. La Crosse, 7.5 inches. Mason City, 5 inches. Waterloo, 3 inches. This is the expected. Dubuque, 3 inches. Again, you could get a little sleet, ice down here, which could be difficult. Chicago, maybe a half inch. Okay, dusting to a half inch. Milwaukee, 2 inches possible. Madison, 3 inches. Green Bay, 6 inches expected. Eau Claire, 10 inches. Look at this, central to northern Wisconsin. We're 6 inches to a foot of snow easily. Northeastern Wisconsin, we're pushing almost 2 feet. Marquette, UP, Michigan, we can see some areas with 2 feet. Grand Rapids, 6.5. Kalamazoo, 6. South Bend, 4. Look at this, northwestern Michigan, easily we can get up there 8 to 12 inches of snow. This is the expected amount, guys. This is what the high end looked like 2 days ago. Okay, a day ago. St. Cloud, 9 inches. You guys want to see what the high end totals are now? High end, they're thinking 13 inches into Minneapolis. Look at that. Talk about a difference. Well, Brandy, here's the thing. You never went from 2 to 4 to 3 to 5 to 4 to 7. The news just so far behind. The news station here in Minneapolis yesterday, I was sitting with my mother-in-law and wife watching the news yesterday morning, and they said they projected Minneapolis to get around 2 to 3 inches of snow. Obviously, they looked at me and were like, is that true? And I said, no. What are these people smoking, okay? I don't know what the heck is wrong with some of these. There was one meteorologist I was watching on the local Minneapolis news who I really liked. He said He said when he was going over, he goes, I think these totals are off. I think they're going to be much higher than this. And I said, thank you. He knows what he's talking about. But I was like, and my mother-in-law and wife were like, are you sure? Are you sure? Are you sure? I go, Minneapolis is not going to only see 2 inches of snow. It makes me so, I can't even tell you guys. It makes me so angry. This never went from, I was projecting high end a foot of snow in Minneapolis like 4 days ago. And the news yesterday was saying 2 inches. I don't understand. I don't understand. Yes, there's a chance for some more New York City snow. Sorry that you got that little dry pocket the other day. 4 or 5 inches in New York City the other day. Not bad, but I really wanted you guys to get closer to that 8-inch high end. All right. These people are smoking crack. Okay. All right. Look at this. High end, 13 inches. Okay. Look at these high ends, guys. Milwaukee, 4 inches. Chicago, 2 inches. Madison, 6 inches. Rochester, a foot. Albert Lee, almost a foot. La Crosse, almost a foot. Mason City, 8 inches. Waterloo, 5 inches. Cedar Rapids, 3 inches. Dubuque, 4 inches. Des Moines, 2.5. St. Cloud, almost a foot. Wilmar, approaching a foot on the high end. Duluth, approaching a foot on the high end. Marquette, I don't know, 3.5 feet on the high end. Grand Rapids on the high end, getting up to 8 inches. Kalamazoo, 10 inches. South Bend, 8 inches. Look at Northwestern. We're talking about a foot to 2 feet up here. Northwestern Michigan on the high end. Let's get out here, okay? Because some of this is going to move in. Some of this is going to move a little bit farther out east. High end. Mansfield down to Columbus, 3 to 5 inches of snow. Cleveland, 9 inches. Erie, a foot. Buffalo, a foot on the high end. Rochester, 8 inches. Syracuse, almost 2 feet on the high end. Oh my gosh, if that happens. Albany, an inch. So look at West Virginia, not bad. Pittsburgh, 3 inches on the high end. Expected amounts out here. Chance Columbus, you get no snow if you don't get the high end. Mansfield still expected to get snow. Really good snow out here towards Buffalo still on the expected. Syracuse, still really good snow. Maybe even a foot on the expected for Syracuse. Rochester doing really well. But these totals have gone way up, guys. This low is bombing out. It's going to bomb out faster. It's going to bomb out more intense than originally projected. Let's take a look at the satellite, and then I'll get to your questions. Let's take a look at the mid-layer of the atmosphere here and just talk about what's going on. All right, what is this right here? Chat, I know you know what this is. I'm going to get to your questions. We're just going to push through this, and I'm going to get to your questions. What is that, chat? Gemini, Loyal, Gemini, Brandy, Gert, Dustin, I appreciate you guys. What is that we're looking at right there? That's a low pressure. Thank you. Okay, here's a low pressure. This is bringing with it some very, very, very cold air behind it, okay? Right here, this is our trough, right? This is our trough. It's really not digging down like that. Our trough is more like, let's put this into motion. Our trough is more like this, okay? You've got this subtropical jet pumping into here right now, and we have our actual low, our cyclonic low that's beginning to form really right here, okay? This is really the low that's beginning to form, okay? Spinning like this. And this is going to continue to move off into the north and east. Right now, we're at about 900, maybe in 998 millibars. Within the next 24 hours, this thing could be down to 976 or lower. Mid-latitudes, 60-degree latitude, you get a drop in pressure of over 17 millibars in 24 hours. That is bombogenesis. That is a bomb cyclone. It's not a made-up word. That's a meteorological term, a bomb cyclone. But it has to meet certain conditions. This is going to meet those conditions. It's bombing out quicker than we thought. I do need to mention heavy rainfall through this region, moving into Chicago. Severe weather threat as well. We've been watching this Bloomington severe thunderstorm warning, really just for some heavy rain and strong winds right now. Like I said before I get to questions, the heaviest snow is falling right here. And I'm going to tell you, yesterday, this band was not there. It was here. A little bit of a shift south from this band. A little bit of a dry pocket here. But if you're up here in this dry pocket, believe me, we have plenty of time. This snow is moving like this. Then we're going to have a little bit of a stall, and this is going to come back around. You're going to get good snow in here still. Maybe not as much, but you're going to get good snow. Maybe you get an inch or two less than originally projected. But heavy snow for this region as well still. So don't worry about a little bit of a dry slot. So I'm going to get to questions now. Yeah, I'm going to get to questions now. This snow's accumulated quick here. I'll show you guys. I was shown before. It literally started snowing maybe 40 minutes ago here. There was no snow on the ground. No snow on the ground 40 minutes ago, and that's outside. So fast accumulations here in the Minneapolis metro. Fast accumulations here. All right, let me take some questions. I know a lot of people are going to ask snow total questions, and that's fine. We can talk about that. Let me just adjust my camera so you can all see my beautiful face that my mama gave me. Okay. Okay, yeah, someone's just asking about East Coast pattern. Let's take a look here. Latest GFS. Ooh, the new 12Z is loading. I want to see what the... by the way, here, we'll go to the 6C. Here's the 6C. GFS. This storm moves through. A little bit of snow potentially. Again, New Year's Eve, we're watching this region for snow falling on New Year's Eve. Right? We're watching this region for snow falling on New Year's Eve. Here we go. That snow transitions out to the east. Maybe a big burst of snow out here. Quick snow. Might not be super heavy, but snow. Could be. Snow. January 1st or 2nd. And some of the snow could be out near the coast. It'll be cold enough. Oh, I got a headache. Tons of cold air out to the east. We get into the 3rd, the 4th. Still cold air. Cold air out east. Very interesting setup here. What does that look like to you guys? What does that look like the potential of right there? Nor'easter. This thing shifts a little bit farther east. Could be a nor'easter. Regardless, this would be heavy snow for Indiana, Ohio, portions of Kentucky, Pennsylvania, inner New England. This thing shifts a little bit farther out east. I mean, we're 200 hours out. Easily could. Suddenly you got a major nor'easter on your hands there. So opportunity there next Monday for you guys. More cold air out east. Maybe another snowstorm here for the plains. Maybe we finally get something through some good snow into Colorado, Nebraska, Kansas. We'll see. And then that cold, and look at the polar jet collapse. This is what we've been seeing for a while into the second week of January. This would give us big opportunity for southern snow here. So that's what the latest GFS thinks. European does some funny stuff, did some funny stuff last night. The European did some real funny stuff last night. You could see the Euro like some snow, far southeast, very far out in the model, but still something to watch. We see the GFS collapsing the jet just like this down south, just like the Euro does there. So something to watch. The Euro also sees January 1st, New Year's. Look at the snow out here. Maybe even out towards the coast on New Year's. I don't know if that'd be heavy, but, you know, still snow out there. A little opportunity for some Virginia and more mid-Atlantic snow here as we get into next Sunday. So opportunities out east. Another potential snow for the upper Midwest. Look at this. The Euro again. We're talking January 6th. More opportunities for snow out here. So looking pretty good out east. Pretty dry out west for a little bit. You do get a burst of potentially mountain snow here as we get into Thursday, Friday next week. And then what's this? There's your nor'easter chance on the Euro as well if this thing gets closer to the coast. See, the GFS has it here. The Euro has it here. But big opportunity for nor'easter there. So we'll watch that time frame. All right. Let me get to answering questions. Brady, Pipple, Marissa, I appreciate you guys. Any chances for southern snow? Oh, yeah. See, just talked about that. I'm going to need to think of it at noon. Yeah, I am going to go live just from my phone on YouTube and TikTok. Maybe just TikTok, maybe just YouTube. I think I want to do both. But I'm going to go out with my brother. We have just plains, like a big farm, which is plains as far as the eye can see right next to my neighborhood. Because we're like right on the outskirts of Minneapolis Metro. It's like all farms out to our west. But we're going to go out there, and during the blizzard, we get into some blizzard conditions today, and I'm going to do a little live streaming out there for fun. If you guys want to see it. Boone, North Carolina. There's some opportunities out here. We'll see. I'd watch this time frame here. January 1st, 2nd, 3rd. See if we can't get some snow down there in Boone. How much for Lincoln, Nebraska? Dusting, unfortunately. Glenview, Illinois. Come on, give me a city that I'm. Where's Glen? Okay, guys, if you're new to the stream, where's Glenview? Don't tell me that's near Chicago. If you're new to the stream, if you name a smaller city, I want to answer as many questions as I can. If you name a smaller city, I might just skip over it. But if you could say North Central Illinois, Northeast Illinois, East Central, or you say Chicago Metro, or you say, Springfield Metro, Champaign Metro, like a bigger city, I can answer your question very quickly. Kalamazoo, like I know where Kalamazoo is. 6 inches expected. High end, you guys could get 8+. Utah over the next 72 hours, not much snow. Taking a look at the next 72 hours. Yeah, Minneapolis Metro, 10 inches of snow expected, 13 inches on the high end. This is not my opinion. This is the National Weather Service now. So pretty crazy. Snow totals have gone up there. I'm looking just at the next 72 hours right now. So New Hampshire, not much, but there is some nice snow on the way for New Hampshire. Major ice issues in New Hampshire, by the way. Eastern upstate New York, Vermont, Massachusetts, New Hampshire, and portions of Maine tonight into tomorrow. Big ice issues. Potentially catastrophic ice issues. Make sure you have some extra gas if you're a gas-heated house. Extra water, batteries, radio, all that type of stuff. Do I have high confidence for a southern snowstorm? I have high confidence for southern snow. If we're talking about snowstorm, like a 6-inch plus storm, I wouldn't have high confidence. I have high confidence we could see 3 to 4 inches of snow down in the south over the next 2 weeks, I'd say. Somewhere, yeah. Ice in Springfield? I don't think we're expecting much ice in Springfield today. No. St. Louis always on the cusp. A little bit low here. Green Bay snowfall. Green Bay snowfall right now is they're expecting around 6.5 inches. High end, you could get up to 8 inches in Green Bay. Tough, you know. I think 5 to 6 inches is a pretty good bet. I'd say 5 to 7 inches is a pretty good bet for Green Bay, which isn't too bad. It's possible you get the high end there. Baltimore, Maryland, yeah, I just talked about that. You got maybe 2 or 3 chances between now and January 3rd for a little bit of snow to move back through the mid-Atlantic. Maybe one of those storms drops more than a little bit. Metro Atlanta, tons of freezing air moving in over the next couple days, but no snowfall expected in the short term. Maybe into the second week of January we get an opportunity. Guys, I got to show you something. I got my cousin who works for Red Bull sent me like 4 more packages of Red Bulls. You can see my fridge is stocked. Some of my Red Bulls are blocking the light from my fridge. I have too many. I got a few hundred Red Bulls in there. But guess what she sent me? Like 50 of or 70 of. Ready? I have to say, this is, and I think I want to say easily my favorite Red Bull I've ever had. And I've had almost every Red Bull. Have you guys had this? Holy smokes. This is good. She also said a lot of people make Moscow mules with this. And I'm like, that's a really good idea because the apple flavor is really prominent. I bet you a Moscow mule with this is really good. All right. I'm telling you, if you haven't had the winter edition, they might stop selling it at the end of January. But they said it's selling. She said that because she's like works for Red Bull. They said it's selling so good, they might just extend it and keep selling it past January because it's one of their best selling Red Bulls. But Fuji Apple and Ginger Winter Edition, really good. Well, I think, yeah, you said I've never seen those here in Maryland. I think they're just starting to send them out to a lot of states too. What is causing the bans to weaken as it moves east over north central Wisconsin? Well, we can take a look at the progression of the storm here. We'll take a look at the HRRR since it's going to give us kind of the most accurate, up to date. Let's go to the upper Midwest. Well, it's always hard to get into this region. I guess I'll go Great Lakes. Okay, so, who just subbed? Whoever just subbed, I love you. I love you. Thank you for subbing. Thank you for following, guys, too. Here we go. The issue isn't the bans are weakening over Wisconsin. The issue is you've got a warm front out here, right? Here's our warm front. So that was a bad drawing, but you guys can tell. So you're starting off with a lot of rain, sleet. That's the only reason your snow totals are less. Once you get out here, right, into early Monday morning, 1, 2 a.m., you get heavy snowfall. You're going to have a period of a few hours of heavy snowfall. That is when you're going to get the majority of your accumulation. So it's just because the beginning of your storm is rain. Whereas for us here, we had about 15 minutes of sleet, and then it turned to snow. You guys just have a little bit too much warm air out ahead there. But It's hard to tell when this stuff transitions. And if this stuff transitions an hour or two earlier, you get the high ends out here, right? In Green Bay, 8-9 inches of snow, you get the high ends. So maybe even more. But yeah, here's how the storm moves through. Look at this. This is, by the way, major flooding. If you're next to a lake, river, low-lying stream, or you're low-lying next to a stream, this region right here, we're gonna have some flooding issues here, central to southern Michigan. But here's the storm progressing. I think a lot of the models are underdoing the lake effect here as well. We just had a warm stretch that probably melted some of this ice on the Great Lake that we were starting to get along the coast. I think a lot of that snows. This is going to be pretty heavy. But look at this low. 977, 976, 974, 974 millibar low. This is a bomb cyclone. It'll be like a category. It's like a category 2 snow hurricane over land. No problem, no problem, no problem. Nick, if you answered my question, no problem. Next rain chance in Fort Worth. Let's zoom out here. Look at that. That's very weird looking. Let's go to the Euro. Dry, 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 dry. Dry January, dry, dry, dry. Look at, you get a little opportunity for some moisture here as we get into Friday. But then we're staying dry. Oh my gosh, you guys are going to stay dry for a while there, aren't you? Holy smokes. Hey, look what the Euro does here. Look what the Euro does around January 8th, 9th into Texas. Wow. I don't know. Dallas-Fort Worth could remain dry for quite a while. Holy crap. Holy crap. I wasn't even... That's... Oh, here we go. Mesoscale discussion. New mesoscale discussion. You guys can see where this is, right? You guys can see where this is? All right. North central... Areas affected. North central Iowa. Southern and eastern Minnesota. Northwestern Wisconsin. Concerning. Heavy snow. Concerning. Heavy snow with rates near 1 inch per hour. Some are going to get 2 inches an hour, by the way. Is expected to develop by midday in east central Minnesota. We already have that. And northwest Wisconsin. Occasional blizzard conditions are expected into southern Minnesota and northern Iowa. Yeah. Yep. Okay. That's a pretty good description of what's going on here. What are our temperatures now currently? Yeah, this is going to get really heavy here in a second. Anyways, here's the storm. Let me keep answering questions. Blizzard-like conditions, guys, if we take a look. Let's take a look at our current winds, current wind speeds. So here we go. Strong winds now just beginning to make it into the Minneapolis metro, the outskirts here. Most likely blizzard conditions. I don't think they put Minneapolis in a blizzard warning. I think Minneapolis probably should be in a blizzard warning. You're right on the cusp there. We could easily get 40, 50 plus mile per hour gusts in Minneapolis. So you guys are in this region here. Definitely. You're going to see, there's going to be periods today where you are in zero visibility blizzard conditions. So, and then obviously the UP of Michigan as well. Snow is crazy heavy. I usually am excited to stream, but I'm also excited to go outside. Morgan, what's going on? I appreciate you. What about St. Louis? What are you talking about? What your next chance for rain in St. Louis? There's a nice little snow band that could move through Omaha here and drop a little bit more snow than expected, by the way. Take a look at this reflectivity. Right, we're below freezing. Nice little snow band's about to move through. Nice little snow band's about to move through Omaha here. Missouri, I expect some, a little bit, or St. Louis, I expect some rain to develop on the back end of this. You'll probably get a little bit today. Moving forward, you get dry, very, very cold. And then you get an opportunity here, maybe even for, and probably just rain there. I don't think you're going to get much ice there. But pretty dry for St. Louis in the short to midterm here. These snowflakes are huge. Latest on we don't have the 12Z yet. Oh, the 12Z of the GFS is loading in, and I want to show you guys something. This is midnight. Now, the Euro actually has snow here. Midnight on New Year's Eve. We'll see what the 00Z Euro does. Here's what the GFS has snow midnight on New Year's Eve. I'm sorry, you guys can't see what I'm looking at. I've been doing that a lot lately. I don't typically change screens as much, so I got to get used to this. But here's where the GFS sees snow on New Year's Eve. The Euro sees snow actually a little bit through this area. So still seeing those areas to watch for New Year's Eve snow. Always possible to get some flakes falling. Or it's definitely possible to get some flakes falling in New York City on New Year's Eve, though. We'll see if some of this moisture can get out there. Anything for Philly? Are you a meteorologist? Everything you're saying sounds very vague. Most of the questions people are asking is it going to rain and how much snow am I going to get? Do you want me to go break down climatology and teleconnections and pull up our mesoscale analysis and talk about what's going on in all layers of the atmosphere, or do you just want me to answer people's questions? I mean, I'm pretty sure most people here want me to be vague because they're not going to understand if I'm not vague. Come on, let's use our brains here. Hey, Connor, it's snowing. Yes, it is, Marissa. Can you tell me road conditions for my city tonight? Well, Kiki, I could. You got to tell me what city you're in. Do some calculus. Yeah. Let me start getting into the real details. You want to pull up some soundings? You want to go over some soundings today? Here, let's pull up some Green Bay soundings. Let's go into Wisconsin. This is actually something interesting. I'll admit. I do want to see when Green Bay could turn over to snow. What airport can I use for Green Bay? Austin. Do they have that airport on here? They do. Here you go. All right. Rain, rain, rain. This would be ice. We're potentially all snow in Green Bay as we get into around. This would be earlier than expected. This would be 9 p.m. tonight. You can see our dew point temperature. This is snowing here. Here's our freezing line, just south of the freezing line. So, hey, by the way, if this happens in Green Bay, you're probably going to get closer to your high end. Although, could still be slightly above freezing at the surface. That's a little concerning. Right here is when you're 100% pure snow at 2 a.m. Based on the European sounding here. HRRR, we can go take a look at the HRRR as well. We'll go back to the 12Z. Based on the HRRR, you're definitely full snow as we get into 2 a.m. Possibility of seeing all snow earlier in the day, though. We're talking about earlier, maybe 9 p.m., 10 p.m. That would give you a chance for your high end snow totals there. Snowfall forecast for Breckenridge for the next 2 weeks. Oh, we're really getting off topic here. All right. I mean, okay. We'll take a look at that. Maybe a tiny bit of snow as we get out towards Friday here. Not much over the next week, at least based on the latest Euro. Your best opportunity for snow, man, it looks so dry out there. This is your best opportunity for snow as we get into next Friday. Maybe we get 6 inches to a foot out there in Breckenridge. Just not great opportunities. We're getting another ridge building out west. Sorry, guys. Here you go. We're getting another ridge building out west. A little opportunity here next Thursday and a Friday. Possibly that weekend. Next weekend, maybe we get 6 inches to a foot into Breckenridge. But other than that, you can see that ridge holding out west and all of this cold air and snow sinking out towards the east. Dallas looks really dry over the next 2 weeks. We were just looking at that. Sorry, YouTube. The chat was covered there for a second. Let me answer some of these YouTube questions as well. One county over. Wait, is there a chance for ice in Western Long Island or just rain? Probably just rain. One county over has a wind advisory for North MS. Northern Mississippi. You guys have wind advisories down there? Oh, yeah, you're talking about up here. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that bad. I don't see Mississippi having too many problems today, if I'm being honest. It could, I mean, you could see some gusts up to 50, but it's not looking like too severe a day down there. You think its absolute peak will be around 965 millibars? It could go below 974. Here's the progression. It's been snowing here where I am, Metro Minneapolis, for about 1 hour. We had 0 snow on the ground an hour ago. This is 1 hour of snowing. We had no snow out there. None. That's 1 hour of snow. So you could say that's pretty good rate. You could say we're right around an inch an hour right now. For anyone in our area. It's big fluffy snowflakes too. Yeah, you guys can't probably tell on the camera. These are some of the biggest snowflakes I've ever seen. They're huge. They're like this. They're gigantic. I'm muted. No, I'm not. Hey guys, am I muted? Morris County, New Jersey update. I forget where Morris County is. Is that Northern Jersey? You guys got to help me out here. Northern Jersey, Central Jersey. Look, you're going to get some possibility for little ice into northern Jersey, New York City, and Long Island. I think it's mostly rain. I don't think you're going to get much ice. But definitely heavy downpours. Definitely heavy downpours as we progress. Really as we move into tonight and into tomorrow morning and afternoon. A little bit of a chance for severe weather around here too. I'd watch out for that, but I don't think it's going to be too bad. Just a lot of rain. Now on the back end, it gets really, really cold, and you have the chance for maybe some flakes flying out here on New Year's Eve. That's something to watch. Thunderstorm warning. Livingston, Illinois. There it is. Here we go. Let's take a look at our thunderstorm warning. Probably just some high winds. You can see here. Let's take a look at our velocities. 40. Gusting around 45, 50 miles per hour. So, we'll take a look here. Severe thunderstorm warning for southern Livingston County and central Illinois, southwestern Ford County, and east central Illinois. 60 mile per hour wind gusts, quarter size hail. Okay, so watch out down there. Emmanuel, what's going on? Sorry, I was neglecting my YouTube chat in the beginning of the stream because I forgot I was streaming on YouTube too, which I always do. I don't know how I forgot because there was something sitting over my chat and it was disappeared from my screen. And then my YouTube chat reappeared and I was like, oh crap. Hey guys, I'm almost at 7K subscribers on YouTube if you want to follow my YouTube, 6.9. All right, let me answer some more questions. Any snow first week of January in Missouri? There's a chance. So you're saying there's a chance. There's a chance. We would want, you see this Barrett Clinic boundary set up here as we get into early January. We would want a little bit of moisture to form along that. We need a storm system, but you do get that interaction right there, and then you can see what's happening here. A storm system tries to link up. Maybe the storm system moves in farther west. This boundary is a little bit more collapsed. That is an opportunity right there next weekend for snow, rain, ice, something, storm in Missouri. All of the above. So, and then again, you could see this storm collapsing farther south. You would need that to collapse farther south. An opportunity out here as well. So a few opportunities, but it's going to be tough. You're going to need a little bit of help. You're going to need a little bit of help. No problem. What, you don't love us anymore? No, I still love you guys. I love you guys. How bad is it going to be in Battle Creek, Michigan tonight? Hi. Do you want to come say hi to stream real quick? Can you tell them what's happening? Wait, tell them what's happening outside. What's happening outside? What's that? What's happening? What's falling from the sky? I'm streaming. He says it when it snows. He says it's raining snow. Yes, chat. It is raining snow. That's funny. You can just say it's snowing.
And the roads are the worst I've driven in a long
This accumulation is very fast.
Yes, it is. Come on, baby.
It's rain and snow, chat. He just keeps saying it. I keep saying snowing. He goes, no, Daddy, it's raining snow. Said bubbles falling from the sky. That's cute too. You know, YouTube has the best peeps. I do love my YouTube. Can we get a west southern? Wait, what? Can we get a west southern again? Chances the snow system slides more east from central Minnesota and more into west Wisconsin. What do you mean? This is moving into Wisconsin. Here's our latest snow totals, guys. This is the latest. Let me actually make sure this is up to date now. This is the latest from the National Weather Service. Okay. Let me show you the whole thing here. You can see, let me actually move. Okay, yeah. So we're talking here. This is over the next 72 hours, right? We're talking this region right in here, right? We're talking 1 to 2 inches. We're talking a nice 5 to 6 inches right in here. And then we're talking 8 inches to a foot out here in this region here. 8 inches to a foot. 2 feet. 2 feet. We'll just give this a wide one. 6 to 12 inches. Lots of snow. High end even goes crazier. High end amounts, what we could actually see here, we're talking 13 to 14 inches for these areas of Wisconsin and Minnesota. Of the UP, we could see 3 feet of snow. Can we get a west southern snowstorm? So like so like one of these. We're seeing the polar jet collapse. So in mid-January, and that's what I'm expecting. Wow, this is crazy accumulations. Ohio Valley. We've got a few opportunities moving forward here. Freezing air, obviously. It's going to be a cold start. It's going to be a very, very cold start to 2026 for the Ohio Valley. Midwest, portions of the Southeast, Mid-Atlantic, and New England. This could end up being a bigger storm than it's currently showing, by the way, for the Ohio Valley. I posted yesterday. This storm that we're experiencing right now, I hinted at it a week ago. I said, there's a sharp barocclinic boundary here. It's not showing snow, but it could. I have the same kind of feeling with this. We've got a storm system moving into some pretty cold air on this jet. I would not be surprised. I would not be surprised at all if over the next few days you start to see a bigger snow system developing right here. That could even affect the Mid-Atlantic and New England. So it's possible. I expect to see some sort of progression there. The issue is we get too cold out here, and our jet really does push this far to the south. We might end up having, as we get into the second week of January, a better snow chance down here than up through portions of the Ohio Valley and Midwest. Twin City, Minnesota getting 8 inches for real. The National Weather Service expected amount for the Twin Cities is about 10.5 inches. The expected amount from the National Weather Service. High end, 13 inches. So if we were to only get about 8 inches in the Twin Cities, that would actually be 2 inches less than what the National Weather Service thinks. All right, buddy, you gotta let me finish my stream, okay? I'll be out. I'm almost done, okay?
Come on.
Yeah, Bo, thanks. This is the same thing. This is the same thing I was talking. This is what I was talking about, and this is why. But this is why it also bothers me that the news this morning was saying we could get 2 inches, because this was 8 or 9 days ago. Which we did. So why, if I can see a signal 8 to 9 days out for a snowstorm, why is the news in Minneapolis calling for 2 inches of snow yesterday morning here? How are they so inaccurate within 24 hours? But anyways, that's what I'm talking about when I see this type of signal here. It's easy to look at the models and just tell people what the models say. What I try to do, and what weather enthusiasts and meteorologists try to do, is get under the models, because that's what makes you stand out from other people. So this just seems like a good opportunity. It doesn't mean that we're going to get a big snowstorm out of this, but this amount of moisture and a deepening low pressure pushing in off the southwest, this would pull a lot more moisture in behind it, likely too. with this, cyclonic motion or cyclonic flow. I could just see this developing into a bigger snowstorm here. Pretty easily, too, by the way. Can you talk about the sharp gradient of snow in central Minnesota to the north? Yeah, dry slot. Dry slot. Here's the issue. What's causing a lot of this really heavy snow down here to the south is extremely, extremely cold air dropping really quickly. And you're just going to get a cold core high up here. It's going to be too cold that it's not going to allow this snow. You're not going to get the snow's not going to fall up here. It's too cold. This dry slot is pushing that snow to the south. This just has to do with your temperatures. Straight up, it's just too cold up here. You have a high pressure with freezing air, below freezing air, but below zero air pushing in. And this was not supposed to be this cold, and that's what's causing a little bit of a dry pocket up here. We can see it a little bit better. We can see it a little bit better. I think if we take a look at the satellite, can we see a little bit farther to the north here? You'll see as this, I need to see a little bit farther up. Let me see if I can change our viewing here. Give me a second. Goes east. God, this satellite sucks. It just has to do with the high here dropping below zero air into this region, and it's choking out our cold. This is what can happen, and this is what happened earlier in the season too. Northern Minnesota, northwestern Minnesota struggled because it was too cold. This can happen a lot of times in La Niñas too, where portions of Minnesota and North Dakota get too cold that they miss out on snow. The snow is forming along this boundary down here because that's where the warm and cold air interaction is. So that's where the deepening low pressure is. Now, if you weren't as cold up here, this snow would definitely extend farther up to the north. It's just too cold. So you have some dry air punching in. A lot of times, cold is associated with the high pressure. So it's pushing in that dry air from the high pressure and cold air. The snow outside is crazy right now. You guys can't see through my screen. You actually can't see how hard it's snowing. I just realized that, which annoys me because it's snowing really hard. All right, let me get back to answering some more questions. Yeah, this camera's not doing any sort of justice for me. Very wet and sticky. Yeah, depending on where you are. Any snow for Pittsburgh soon? Or I guess, in Minneapolis Metro, yeah, it's going to get super fluffy within like 30 minutes. Talk about the Midwest, 20 miles west of Mason City, Iowa. Well, here, we can take a look at what the latest is from the National Weather Service. 20 miles west of Mason City, Iowa. Expected from the National Weather Service 5 to 7 inches of snow. High end, maybe a little bit more. Your guys' totals have gone up, haven't they? Could we get a snowstorm in Alabama again? It's possible. Like you did last year? We'll see. Where's Alexandria, Minnesota? I think that's near me. Well, here, you can see what's happening. This is the expected amounts for Minnesota. This would be 8 to 10 inches in here. North Metro, you're expecting 10 to 11 inches of snow. High end 13 inches right now from the National Weather Service. Guys, give me 1 second real quick. I'll show you the high ends. The high ends are crazy. Someone's gonna get a high end snowfall. And the high ends are absolutely wild. Let me refresh this. The high ends are crazy. If you guys are having issues reading that little scale, once you get into the dark oranges here, this is 12 to 15 inches of snow. This is 8 to 12, 6 to 8, 4 to 6. So the high end's pretty crazy. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, guys. "81 days until spring." Yeah, more like 120 days until spring for Minnesota and the Dakotas and Wisconsin. Minnesota here, holy snow. I know. I tried to show chat how heavy the snowfall is outside, but it doesn't do justice. The camera doesn't do justice. This is the heaviest snow I think I've seen in person, not on a ski mountain. This right here is 1 to 2 inch an hour snow. But you know, I haven't lived up north for very long, but this is the heaviest snow I've seen in person, not on a snow mountain, because I was skiing once and it was this heavy. But I'm just astonished. We have like 1.5 inches of snow on the ground, and it's been snowing for just over an hour, and there was no snow on the ground. I'm astonished at, and it's weird because the surface was a little bit above freezing. I expect it melt for the first 30 minutes. It didn't. It's pretty crazy stuff. And you know, we know why, because you take a look what's happening here, and I'll move on to other places, but Minneapolis Metro, look at our radar. This right here is about as heavy as snow bands get. I mean, they get a little bit heavier, but this is very, very heavy snow. By the way, this is not there's not no snow falling here. That's a radar. That's because the radar, there's not a gap in snow here. Radars have a gap. But this right here, I mean, Prior Lake, Burnsville, Bloomington, Shakopee, Belle Plaine, Maplewood, downtown Minneapolis, Brooklyn Park, White Bear Township. I mean, you guys are getting just slammed. St. Paul, this region right here, the Minneapolis airport is getting buried right now. Very heavy snow. Really heavy snow moving down. Some good snow about to move through Rochester. I mean, good snow has been moving through Rochester, Minnesota as well. Eau Claire, really heavy snow moving in right now. Let's move out a little bit here. This is, what temperature, you guys? I don't know if this is transitioned to snow yet. This actually might be freezing rain or a little bit of sleet. I think I might be getting ahead of myself here. What's our temperatures out there in Eau Claire? Yeah. Oh, man, this would be super heavy snow if you guys can get that to transition over to snow. Anyone in Eau Claire here? Anyone in Eau Claire here in stream? I'm guessing that's still not just pure snow. How much will Savage, Minnesota get? I'd say at least 10 inches. Well, on the low end, I think 8 inches on the low end. I think it's possible you get 10 to 12, though. I'd say you're going to land somewhere around 10. Thick snow, and it's sideways, yeah. The crazy thing is, though, the snow's really beautiful right now in Minneapolis, but it's going to start blowing later, and it's going to be a mess. It's going to be zero visibility. How much snow in Shakopee? You could easily hit 10 inches in Shakopee. Someone's going to get over a foot. Savage, Shakopee, somewhere downtown Minneapolis or around Minneapolis Metro. Someone's going to get over a foot. Dry hair is killing it up here in Duluth. I know. But don't worry. What's happening is this low pressure is moving off to the north. And then this snow that's moving to the northeast is going to begin to rotate down to the east-southeast. And what that's going to do is drag a lot of this moisture over Duluth. So even though you're getting this early dry pocket in Duluth, which is really annoying, there's still a big window for you ahead. You can see some of this snow beginning to kind of tilt. It's going to start to tilt, and you're going to get that snow into Duluth. So you're going to get some of your totals could be a little bit lower just because of this dry pocket, though, to start off with. Detroit, snow expectations over the next 72 hours. High end, a couple inches. Expect it, maybe an inch. We're buying sunscreen here. You're buying snowsuits. How do I see today's severe threat playing out? I can take a look at that real quick. Let me go to the HRRR. I'm actually going to go to the HRRR. Ohio Valley. I'll show you guys this in a second. Severe weather. I should push over to Pivotal. Ugh, got a headache. All right, reflectivity. Here we go. This is when we get that severe weather potential really gearing up here. This is around, I got to do my time changes, 4 p.m. today. But again, if we get a lot of rain on the front end of this, we're going to have some rain-cooled air. It won't be as bad. But a little bit of a QLCS setting up here. And this is when you could get a line. This is when you could see some possible spin-ups out here in this region here. All right. Now, we'll take a look here at some parameters really quickly. We're talking about, let's take a look at our surface-based CAPE. Not a ton of CAPE. Not a ton of CAPE. Central to eastern Illinois looks the most significant to me. We can take a look at our super SoCal. Well, let's take a look at our SIGTOR parameters. Once again, this is the region right in here that I'm most concerned about for a spin up. And if it did happen, 4 to 7 p.m. Time could change, but 4 to 7 p.m. This region right here. You see that SIGTOR in there. You've got CAPE. Helicity down near the surface. Not too bad. You can see that sharp line of helicity right here. So if I were to take a sounding, somewhere out here, take a quick look at it. All right, let's take a look at this. A little bit of CAPE. You can see it right through here. A little bit of shear, a little bit of directional shear here. No inhibition. So this is well, about 800 joules per kilogram of CAPE. I think the CAPE's going to be higher than that. 239 SRH down near the surface is pretty significant. 42 knot low level shear is pretty significant. Possible hazard type. TOR, you can see our effective layer. SIGTOR param, we're sitting around almost 2. Not much of a spin right here, though, right? I'm not seeing much helicity on here or much vorticity on here. So it doesn't look too terribly bad to me. But you just make sure you're aware if you're out here. Make sure to have a way to receive weather alerts. Here's our tornado threat today, in case anyone hasn't seen it. 5%. This doesn't mean there's a 5% chance that a tornado forms in this region. This means there's a 5% chance that a tornado touches down like in your zip code, meaning each little area here has a 5%. Each area here is a 5%. The total, it's closer to a 100% chance that we get one tornado in here, right? Probably closer to 70% chance. But it doesn't go by 5% for the whole region. It's like per county. You just think about it that way. Think about it that way. And then larger 2% risk. You can see there stretching all the way out to southern Michigan and then northwestern Ohio. Marlo, what's popping? Do you suspect that DC, New England, or Northeast Virginia will get snow this season like last year? Yeah, I think you have some really good opportunities in January to get some good snow. Or better snow than last year. Better snow than last year. Wow. Dallas-Fort Worth snow, mid-January. That's your best opportunity, I think. Second, third week of January. So let's hope you get some snow then. What are we thinking for Minneapolis total? 10 to 12 inches. 10 to 12 inches into Minneapolis. High end 13 maybe. When am I going to see snow in Kansas City, Missouri? Again, getting into the second week of January, you start to get a little bit better of an opportunity there. I don't know if you're talking about Rochester, New York or Rochester, Minnesota, but Rochester, New York expect a total 6 to 7 inches over the next 72 hours. Rochester, Minnesota. Or that's Rochester, New York. Rochester, Minnesota, closer to 8 inches expected. A foot on the high end. Yeah. What is the risk of flash freezing? Northern Illinois tonight? Yeah, Iowa, Northern Illinois, there's a decent risk of flash freezing. It's going to get cold very, very quickly. By the way, I haven't really talked about this, but in the Northeast, we also have a pretty significant ice threat. I hope these ice totals are way off. Now, luckily, these models, it's really hard, not luckily, but it's really hard for models to see ice. But if we were to get this type of ice, an inch and a half ice in New England, this is catastrophic. Everyone's without power. Roads are not drivable for days. This is bad for this whole region. I'd say this looks starting to look a little scary. for this region in particular. So stay up to date with your local officials. Make sure you have extra water in your house, extra gas if you're gas-heated house. Guys, I'm gonna get off for a little bit because I am gonna go live. I might go outside live right now and cover the snow that's falling. I might just go out live on my phone and show you guys what's going on. So if I don't go on right away, I'll be on in a little bit. But yeah, I'll maybe going live on and off periodically today. So this isn't my last time going live. Just gonna take us something. I need to eat. You know what I mean? Before I get started here. So I'll be back on in a little bit. I appreciate you guys. Mods are awesome. Thank you, whoever followed, subscribed, liked the stream, commented on the stream. I appreciate all of you. Gifted, I appreciate all of you. Marla, Violet, Christopher, Nay, I appreciate you. Bo, holy crap, I didn't even see these. Kiki Gemini. Okay, I will, Morgan. All right, I'll see you guys in a little bit. See ya.